For the last 2 weeks on In the Spotlight, we've talked about standalone books, and on my video I got a lot of comments about how, you know, everybody's reading series and yay for standalones, and you know what we decided? And I didn't mention this last week because I couldn't remember. I had to go look it up. This week we're talking about series books! Yay! First is an oldie but goodie, and that is The Giver Quartet. For those of you who don't know, the 4th book in this series came out last year, I think it was, at the beginning of last year. So it is The Giver, Gathering Blue, Messenger, and Sun. The second series that I'm going to recommend is The Apprenticeship of Victor Frankenstein. It's This Dark Endeavor and Right Now Such Wicked Intent, and I think there's supposed to be another one. If you happen to know the title, put it in the comments because I cannot remember off the top of my head. This is essentially, the series is essentially prequel to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which I think is fantastic. So it's fabulous, fabulous, fabulous series that I recommend, and then you should come and tell me how much you loved it. No pressure. The third series that I will recommend is by Barry Lyga, and it is, well, the series is on Goodreads. They list it as Jasper Dent, but if you're a fan of procedural dramas, you know, Criminal Minds, NCIS, all of that, you will probably enjoy the Jasper Dent series. It's about a kid whose father was a serial killer. Next series, Chaos Walking. This is my tattered UK edition of The Knife of Never Letting Go, which I love. It's, how many dystopian? Okay, so at least of the suggestions that I'm making, only 2 of them are dystopian. Chaos Walking, if you haven't read it, it's really interesting. I think it tackles issues of colonization in a very different way. And it, you know, it doesn't help that everybody can hear men's thoughts and dogs talk and the noise, and that's what all this stuff is around the edges of the cover, is the noise that men's minds put out. And I would recommend, if I could recommend, well, I am recommending, that's the whole purpose of these videos. I'm going to recommend that you wander over to like Audible or something and listen to some of the audiobook, because it's I find how audiobook producers put audiobooks together to be fascinating, and it's one of the many things in literacy that I'm interested in. So it's really neat what they did with the noise. So I would go over and like just listen to the sample and see if you can hear some of that, because it's cool and the book is good. Last series. I don't think it's any secret that I like dragons. I love dragons. Last week, on Sunday, I think my video was called I Think I'm a Dragon, because I like dragons and I hoard things. This one of my friends convinced me to read. I showed up at the bookstore where she works, and she's like, you have to read this, just go look at it, just go look at it. And I wasn't going to go into the store, because I knew if I went into the store I would buy something. And I did, and this is what I bought. This is one of the last books that I purchased for myself, and it's about there's dragons who can take human form, and then there are humans, and they have this treaty, and it's about time to look at the renegotiating the treaty as I understand it. And there are some dragons who don't want to some dragons and some humans who don't want to renegotiate this treaty. They don't want the treaty between the dragons and the humans to continue, because there are restrictions put on their way of life and discrimination and all of that. And it's about a girl who is half-dragon. And half-dragons aren't supposed to exist. Because if the dragons and humans don't actually like each other, then why would they, like, copulate? So, this girl is half-dragon, and she works in the palace, or in the castle, or, you know, she works for the royalty people. And she's a musician, and she's advisor to the girl who is, essentially she becomes advisor to the girl who's second in line to become queen, and I think I love it because I am a dragon. So those are a few of the series that I recommend. Tune in next week over at Ramblings of an Elfire for Charlotte's series recommendations. If you have series recommendations, put them in the comments here or over on our Goodreads group. And I will see you in the comments soon. Until then, I'm the Supplier wishing you happy reading. Don't forget to be awesome. Oh, and I totally should have recommended Croak. In that series by Gina D'Amico. Anyway, so the last series that I am going to recommend... Oh, and I didn't even talk about the Unwind Dystology. Oh, too many series! Too many series!